Once upon a time, in a world not so far away, there existed a place where the rich and powerful ruled supreme. Within this, a dark secret lurked beneath the shiny facade of prosperity, the exploitation of cheap labor from distant lands. Behind the glittering skyscrapers and bustling marketplaces, countless workers toiled away in factories, fields, and sweatshops, their labor fueling the insatiable appetite of consumerism. From the bustling streets of Dhaka to the sprawling plantations of Latin America, their voices went unheard, drowned out by the clinking of coins and the rustle of banknotes. As multinational corporations reaped record profits, entire communities languished in poverty and despair, their hopes and dreams crushed beneath the weight of economic exploitation. Yet amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope emerged, as brave souls dared to speak out against injustice and demand a fairer, more equitable world. And so it begins with the depths of this global workforce strategy, solving its complexities and shedding light on the human cost of unchecked greed and exploitation. In the bustling metropolis of New York City, the headquarters of multinational corporations towered over the skyline, symbols of wealth and power. Among them was Elite Corp, a conglomerate with a penchant for profit maximization. Behind closed doors, executives deliberated on ways to reduce operational costs, their eyes fixed on the bottom line. Why pay American workers top dollar when we can outsource labor for a fraction of the cost? Remarked Mr. Smith, the CEO of Elite Corp, his voice echoing through the boardroom. Thus, the allure of cheap labor beckoned, drawing businesses like moths to a flame. Across the globe, in countries ravaged by poverty and inequality, millions of workers toiled for less wages, their labor fueling the engine of corporate greed. In the sprawling slums of Mumbai, India, lives intersected in a tapestry of struggle and resilience. Among its inhabitants was Rajesh, a young man with dreams as vast as the ocean. Raised in poverty, he had little choice but to join the ranks of the exploited workforce, his hopes for a better future dimmed by the harsh realities of economic disparity. Meanwhile, halfway across the world, in the bustling streets of Manila, Philippines, Maria labored tirelessly in a call center, her voice a mere echo in the vast expanse of cyberspace. Like Rajesh, she too faced the harsh realities of exploitation, her dreams of upward mobility dashed by the relentless pursuit of profit. Within the hallowed halls of Elite Corp, recruiters scoured the globe for cheap labor, their eyes trained on countries where poverty reigned supreme. Through the magic of technology, they cast their net wide, luring unsuspecting workers with promises of prosperity and opportunity. "Welcome to the elite family," exclaimed Mr. Smith, as he extended a hand of welcome to Rajesh and Maria, their faces beaming with hope. Little did they know, they had unwittingly become pawns in a game of corporate greed, their labor commodified for the sake of profit. As the wheels of globalization turned, local economies trembled under the weight of outsourcing and exploitation. In the bustling markets of small towns and villages, local businesses struggled to compete with the influx of cheap imported goods, their livelihoods threatened by forces beyond their control. Amidst the chaos, whispers of discontent grew louder as communities grappled with the stark reality of economic displacement. "We are the forgotten ones," lamented Manoj, a small business owner, as he watched his customers flock to the shiny new malls built by multinational corporations. In the halls of academia, scholars debated the ethical implications of labor exploitation, their voices echoing through the ivory towers of intellectual discourse. "Is it morally justifiable to prioritize profit over the well-being of workers?" pondered Professor Gupta, his brow furrowed in contemplation. Meanwhile, on the streets, activists rallied for change, their voices rising in defiance against the forces of injustice. "No more exploitation," they chanted, their words a rallying cry for social justice and equality. In the corridors of power, policymakers grappled with the complexities of labor regulation, their decisions shaping the destiny of nations. "We must enact laws to protect the rights of workers," declared Senator Rodriguez, his voice resonating with conviction. Amidst the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged as businesses and consumers alike embraced ethical practices and sustainable development. "Together, we can build a brighter future for all," proclaimed Ms. Lee, a social entrepreneur leading the charge for change. Deep in the heart of the Amazon rainforest, a different kind of exploitation unfolded, hidden beneath the lush canopy of green. Here, indigenous communities battled against the encroachment of multinational corporations, their ancestral lands pillaged for the sake of profit. "We have lived on this land for generations," lamented Chief Marcos, his voice heavy with sorrow. "But now our way of life is threatened by the greed of outsiders. As the demand for natural resources soared, so too did the exploitation of vulnerable communities, their voices drowned out by the roar of chainsaws and bulldozers. In the pursuit of profit, corporations turned a blind eye to the environmental destruction and human suffering left in their wake. In the bustling corridors of the digital realm, technology wielded its power with a duality that mirrored the complexities of human nature itself. With the tap of a screen, corporations effortlessly outsourced jobs to distant shores, exploiting the labor of those who toiled under foreign skies. Yet, amidst the whirlwind of globalization, a quiet revolution simmered beneath the surface. In the depths of cyberspace, voices once silenced found resonance as workers harnessed the power of social media to amplify their cries for justice. Through the click of a button, they shared their stories with the world, solving the tightly woven fabric of exploitation that shrouded their existence. From the sweatshops of Bangladesh to the call centers of the Philippines, tales of hardship and resilience echoed across the digital landscape, piercing the veil of indifference that had long cloaked the plight of the marginalized. In the face of adversity, they found strength and solidarity, forging bonds that transcended borders and united them in their quest for dignity and fair treatment. Behind the cold, hard statistics lay the human stories of suffering and resilience. For every dollar saved by outsourcing labor, there was a family struggling to make ends meet, a child deprived of education, and a community torn apart by despair. In the quiet moments of solitude, they pondered the meaning of their existence, questioning whether their lives held any value in the eyes of those who profited from their labor. "I am nothing but a cog in the machine," lamented Rajesh, as he stared out into the endless sea of cubicles, his soul aching for meaning amidst the monotony of corporate servitude. Meanwhile, Maria struggled to reconcile her identity as a worker, with her aspiration descended over the vibrant city of Rio de Janeiro. A shadowy presence lurked within its sprawling favelas. Gangs, like venomous serpents, slithered through the narrow alleys, their grip tightening with each passing day. In the absence of hope, desperation festered, giving rise to a culture of crime and violence. Among the labyrinthine streets, Paulo, a young boy with dreams as big as the sky, found himself ensnared in the web of chaos. With no father to guide him and a mother burdened by poverty, he wandered aimlessly, his innocence slowly fading into the darkness. In the heart of the favela, Maria, a single mother struggling to make ends meet, watched helplessly as her son slipped further away with each passing day. Despite her best efforts to shield him from harm, the allure of easy money proved too enticing for a boy with dreams, too big for his reality. As the streets echoed with the sound of gunfire and despair, Paulo found himself at a crossroads, torn between the path of righteousness and the allure of easy money. With each passing day, the line between right and wrong blurred as he danced on the edge of a precipice, teetering between salvation and damnation. In the heart of darkness, hope flickered like a dying ember, casting a dim light on the road ahead. Yet amidst the chaos and despair, a glimmer of hope remained, as Paulo and Maria clung to the promise of a better tomorrow, where dreams were not just figments of imagination, but tangible realities waiting to be embraced. In the face of seemingly insurmountable odds, workers banded together in solidarity, their voices united in a chorus of defiance against the forces of exploitation. Through strikes, protests, and grassroots organizing, they demanded fair wages, safe working conditions, and respect for their basic human rights. In the textile factories of Dhaka, Bangladesh, workers formed unions to advocate for their rights, their collective strength a formidable force against the oppressive tactics of their employers. Meanwhile, in the fields of California's Central Valley, migrant farm workers organized boycotts and demonstrations to protest against the exploitative practices of agribusiness giants, their resilience inspiring others to join the fight for justice and equality. As the tide began to turn, workers seized the reins of their destiny, reclaiming their agency and asserting their right to dignity and respect. Through education and skills training programs, they empowered themselves to break free from the cycle of poverty and exploitation, charting a new course towards economic independence and self-sufficiency. In the rural villages of Kenya, women formed cooperatives to cultivate and sell organic produce, leveraging their collective strength to access markets and command fair prices for their goods. Meanwhile, in the urban slums of Mumbai, India, youth-led initiatives provided marginalized communities with access to vocational training and entrepreneurship opportunities, empowering them to create their own pathways to prosperity. In conclusion, the exploitation of cheap labor by the elite presents a complex tapestry of consequences. While outsourcing may yield short-term cost benefits for businesses, it frequently undermines workers' rights, local economies, and global social equity. As consumers and citizens, it falls upon us to remain vigilant, holding both corporations and policymakers accountable for their actions. Only through collective advocacy and demands for transparency can we strive towards a future where all workers, irrespective of their nationality or socio-economic background, are treated fairly and equitably. It's imperative that we champion a paradigm shift towards ethical labor practices, fostering a world where dignity and respect form the cornerstone of every workplace. Moreover, fostering a culture of fair wages and dignified working conditions not only benefits workers but also contributes to the overall stability and prosperity of societies. By prioritizing human welfare over profit margins, we pave the way for a more sustainable and harmonious global economy. Please like, share, and subscribe.